Mr. Trump, President Trump, sir, 4-star general, chief law enforcement officer, Kenny Jameson coming to you here again. It's like March 12th, 13th, right in there. It's Wednesday, 2019. Still obsessed over this Homeland Security. The Department of Management for Emergencies. What are they doing? You gave an order that we are in a state of emergency, and the federal emergency agencies hasn't dispatched all their RVs and everybody else down to the border. We should have everybody that works for FEMA, other than maybe the ones doing the tornado damage there in Alabama, is the most recent weather disaster. But they're not just weather disaster. Hopefully they got all the forms filled out there in North and South Carolina from the flooding from last year. Hopefully they've got all that processed. And hopefully all those people's private insurance paid for a lot of the damage there. Hopefully the cities and counties had a little emergency fund to take care of themselves. Everybody's dependent on the federal government. We're dependent on the federal government to stop this drugs and sex trade coming into the country here. We want to know why national security's not down there. Why is the NSA not down in Texas and Arizona, New Mexico? Maybe they are. If they are, we're glad to hear it. We're wondering if they're just paper pushers down there, or are they like the IRS in this country that all carry guns now? And the Bureau of Land Management ought to be down there. We're trying to manage some land. How many other federal departments are there that are supposed to be servicing the American people? I mean, I think you have like 1 million federal employees. They could hold hands down there from Brownsville to San Diego. We could do hands across the border with as many federal employees as there are. And then you get the Army in there to back them up. They could be behind it and do hands across the border. That's how many people you have working for you. We don't even need a fence, a wall, or nothing. Just line them up from one end to the other, all holding hands, and say, Red Rover, send some Mexicans over, and then try to hold your hands real tight together. Is this how silly we've gotten? I'm asking you one more time, and I've been asking for, 2.5 years since the primaries. Dispatch the military. You've got a big military budget. It's not comma potatoes or whatever that is. They're not going against the American people. Read that law. That's what that is. You put up some chain link fence. 3 guys start putting it up. You'd be surprised on how many posts they could put in a day and stretch that chain link fence. They got to dig a little bit of a trench to bury it down in the ground by 6-8 inches at least, so they don't just push it and crawl over it. It'd be nice to concrete the bottom of that. But the bags of concrete's pretty expensive. We're saving that just to put the posts in. They dig a hole. They put the post in. They got to deliver bags of quick concrete, and they get the water out of the Rio Grande. We're in business. We got a post in. Let it sit for a day or two. Put another post in. Put another post in. And then about 2 or 3 days from now, they can go back and start stringing barbed wire fence. The Army Corps engineer could string some fence now. We do it around our airports. We do it around our military bases. We do it around our federal land. How many acres of federal land do we have? That's a whole nother story. All federal land. The whole dang country's federal land. And that will be good for the workers when they do put the wall up. It'll be 2 layers that way. And they'll be protected when they put the wall up. That way, if you get over the first wall, you have to get across the chain link fence with the barbed wire on it. Sort of like Israel does it in many places, like the country of Hungary does it. Turkey does it, the Turkish border between... Who else? I bet you lots of companies. Mexico tried to do it on their southern border. They didn't dispatch their military down there to hold them back. They were scared of them. They know about them people from Nicaragua and El Salvador. They're gun-toting, drug-dealing, kidnapping, raping damn people down there. It's a third world country, and by God, Noriega taught those people well, right? Wasn't it Noriega that we used the sound We played rock and roll music outside of his compound for about 3 days, and he said, I can't take it no more. He quit. What did we do to the people in the Philippines? Because Marcos, she had 200 pair of shoes, and the people in the Philippines were outraged. So we gave them a compound in Florida. Anyways, this is not a joke. I just don't understand why these paper pushers at the NSA and the Department of Homeland Security, is there anything to the name? The name doesn't mean anything. FEMA, Federal Emergency, we're under emergency, and FEMA's not got over half, 3/4, 90% of their staff down there. They got RVs to live in. Lots of them. Silly. What are these people doing? They got a month off with pay. They should be rested up. They could work with the government. They could keep track of the soldiers because they're more responsible. If we dispatch these young soldiers down there, they're liable to start partying down there. Get them all solar panels for their tents so they can play video games when they're off duty. Plenty of water. Keep them clean and fed down there. Let's stay civilized here, sir. Thank you for listening. Kenny Jameson signing off once again. Bye.